morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. We had some championship basketball happening yesterday.
At least for one team.
That is true. Yeah, the Cavs go home. They get swept. They did not look particularly good. Really, the first quarter was good until about 2 minutes left, and then this game was never in reach again.
Yeah, and it's at what point? I mean, I gotta look at some of the numbers. Yeah, just nobody had a really good game. Just Donovan Mitchell went. At least he went 5 for 9 for 3, but Harden 0 for 6 from
0 for 6.
3-point. That's an 0 for.
Yeah, I mean Harden didn't even have his one good game that we've seen in the past. Like he was bad the whole time. The only thing he shot better than he did in other days is what he was 7 for 8 from the free throw line. That's it. He was 2 for 8 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. I mean, you just saw nothing from Harden that you could be excited about.
Well, when you look at, I'm looking at all of the starters. Actually, you just look at everybody. When you lose by 37 points, it doesn't matter.
Well,
everybody's in the negative, but
for sure,
Harden had a negative minus 19 for this game. Mobley had a minus 30, Allen minus 22, Mitchell minus 23. Tyson had a minus 21, and he was only played 16 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that's an oof. That's an oucher. You know what I mean? Like how do you do that? Like, oh well, only to be outdone by Ellis to have a minus 20 in 15 minutes. So it's obviously they were just outmatched, and we knew this. We saw this going in.
Oh yeah, no question.
There was no way to really say. And you know what? I at least I'm happy about it. You know what I mean? Because the Knicks were the much better team. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about this. They are going to rest up a little bit while these other two teams beat themselves up a little bit more.
Yep.
And like I said, right before we came on, it's possible that the in-season championship game could have been a preview for the finals tournaments, like the finals.
Absolutely.
NBA finals.
Yeah, especially
Knicks.
Well, especially, as well as the Spurs have played. And at some point, do they stop giving SGA these just BS fouls? Or we're just going to keep doing it? Because, I mean, he's gone to the floor not getting touched a few times and gotten the foul now. Someone has to be reviewing this tape, right, from the NBA. They got to be looking at this and be like, hey, guys, you got to be watching this a little bit closer. Every time that he just dives on the ground isn't a foul.
Right. Well, and like I said, the flounders, that's what it is. I'm going to call it the flounder here because they are definitely fishing out, flopping like a fish.
Yep.
And it's getting really overblown and out. But hey, listen, it's
becoming unwatchable though. Like it's one thing if you're embellishing contact. He's gone to the ground not getting touched and getting the foul, and that's wild to me. Like there has to be something repercussion wise. Like I know they sort of have a flopping rule, but then obviously they don't use it. Certainly not in this series. There needs to be some sort of oversight for the refs. Like the league needs to be like, hey guys, here's some video shots of things you've called. You got to stop because it's a bad product and you can't do that in championship series. Like that is awful.
Well, and we'll see if they're going to start to do anything about it. My thought is that they start to do things the following year, like that they are seeing this. They are unable to stop it now because this goes back to why the rule got changed because of Trae Young,
Well, and same with Harden kicking his leg out. Like, I mean, I get that, but in this case, there's already rules They could just like actually enforce them.
Right, but they're not going to in a championship game because you cannot. Listen, that'd be awesome if they started to call fouls on him and he had 3 fouls in the game, because of flopping. You know what I mean? It'll teach him how to stop. But the problem is that if you flop, it's a technical, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is a tech. So don't even call the flop, right? Just don't call the foul. Like, let him fall to the floor. But if there's not contact, just acknowledge the fact there wasn't contact and don't call the foul. Let him hit the ground a bunch of times without getting the reward. He'll want to stop falling to the ground.
Embiid does it all the time.
Yeah.
Embiid is, I feel like, the one that started it all. It didn't start with him because I'm sure there were other floppers before him. Of course. But I mean, it's like he was the one that kind of accentuated it. Like, hey, I'm going to go. I spend just as much time picking myself up off the floor as I do, playing the game. You know what I mean? It's like I just don't get it. I don't understand. Like, they go, oh, is it easier for you to fall? Like, is it?
Well, no, I mean,
you're going to get the call. Is it because you're going to get the call?
It is because you're getting the call, right? Because you're either going to the line or you're stealing a possession. One that, comes into play in the last game, SGA comes down, or maybe it was going to be a screen. I forget exactly the sequence now, but he falls to the ground, never even touched the Spur, steals the possession. And it's just like, you can't call that. Plus, there's more than one ref out there. Like, I get it if it was the guy that was on the far side, he didn't have a good angle. From his side, could have been contact. You know where there's another guy? Oh, right behind the play. Like, every time, right? So it's I mean, and it wouldn't hurt them to just call that correctly, because you watched them do that for years with Harden. They'd give him that leg kick all year, and then the playoffs would come, they'd stop giving it to him, right? So if they are going to, exactly. No call, no reward. Exactly. Just let him fall to the floor. Don't call a foul on it because it's not one. And he'll stop doing it because he'll want to stop going to the ground for no reason. And we can just naturally work our way out of some of these flops. Now, the embellishing on contact, that's never going to go away because they know that the ref isn't standing right there. So you can't really see the amount of force, depending on where they are on the court. But when there's not contact, like, come on.
Yeah, the whole I just grazed your nose. Whoa!
Exactly. Exactly. Or the best one I ever saw was in soccer. And again, flopping just makes me mad, obviously, right? But this guy came up and like flicked the other player's ear, and he fell on the ground, was rolling around like his knee exploded, right? And we're like, come on. And the other guy got a yellow card for it. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
So,
I mean, most of the time it's just funny. You know what I mean? It's just goofy in general, but
ones like that for sure.
Well, especially, soccer is known for it, Yeah. The magic spray, which does work. There is a real magic spray because it's
painkillers.
Yeah, it's like a topical,
it's like
Novocaine.
Exactly. It's like Novocaine when it's that same type of idea. I mean, I get that stuff exists. At the same time, a lot of these guys are rolling around. The contact was not warranting that kind of exaggerated, oh my God, my leg's falling off. So
and you know what makes me laugh even is that in the hockey first series, we had a flopping call. You know what I mean? There, it's like, because it happens in all sports. Don't think that it's just, obviously NFL football is a little less, but they're always trying to goat the other person into doing something, and then it's like, Whoa, 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 whoa. It's like,
yeah,
so
I mean
that's like
that's
the
less
flop.
flopping, right? Like that's just trying to get a reaction. Now there is some flopping, don't get me wrong,
Yes.
but basketball and soccer, those are the ones where you're just like, man, that wasn't even kind of close. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, baseball, it's you flop when I think of a flop when somebody pitches close to your head. And sometimes you go a little overboard. You know what I
Sure,
mean? I get it. It's like,
sure.
it came somewhat close, and you're like down in the dirt. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, like, oh, you threw close to my head. Like, come on now. It's not anywhere near it. You guys are professionals.
I mean, I
But
don't know. At the same time, if you
Crosby got the flopping call. You know,
yeah,
when he hit and acted like he was dead, and then he got the 2 minute for flopping. I was like, yes, that's perfect. And then the coach comes in. Crosby never, flopped in his life. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. If I got 98 coming at my face, even if it's not that close, I might be down in the dirt.
but yeah, it's you're used to looking at it. Like that's what I
For
think.
sure.
Like
For
when you're a baseball player, you're used to watching that. That's why they go up there with armor anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
of
like
course.
they have battle armor, so that if they get hit, it's the only thing you're not wearing is like a flap jacket for the side. So if you get hit
Yeah.
in the ribs or whatever, but and it's becoming a little bit more. You've been seeing that there's been some policing going on, lately. It's that time of year. So this is the policing is out. The pitchers
Yeah,
are
I just want to see it happen to SGA because he leads the league in flopping opportunities.
right.
So I just want to see them tighten that up, especially for the playoffs. Like, I don't want to see you win a championship because he got to the line 30 times in a game, most of which wasn't actual fouls.
Well, they got to get past the Spurs first. So
no, for sure. I'm just saying, like, that would ruin a championship for me, like as a viewer. If you're getting there because of flopping.
Who do you think the NBA wants to go in the West? Is
Spurs.
it the Spurs?
It's
they want the Spurs because of Wemby?
It's because of Wemby. Now, I mean, you can blame some of that on I just don't want to see OKC there, but
no, I understand your allegiances, 100%.
But at the same time, I think the league wants Wemby in that game, right? Like he's their golden child. SG already got one, right? That was last year. So, and to your point, then you end up with the in-game or in-season championship. You get that rematch, like that would be a cool storyline also. I mean, at the end of the day, all of these leagues do have some of that entertainment value to them, where they do have some storylines they'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing there that OKC is a small market. Is San Antonio a big market?
I mean, I think they're kind of similar, really. Like San Antonio's not huge.
Like, it's like I remember the Alamo in San Antonio, but that's about it. I don't know of anything else that's there, and I got to imagine it's a big cattle town. Like that's just again me not knowing anything about that at all.
San Antonio is still a real city, so I mean it's not that, but it's not New York or LA or it's not any of those.
Yeah, I mean, I think at Dallas Fort Worth, and like Fort Worth is a sizable town.
Yeah,
but I don't think of it as
a big market,
a city. Yeah, like so. San Antonio. There may be a lot of area around San Antonio that also creates the bigger of the markets, and again, there's Popovich and everybody else there. It's like that. The San Antonio is definitely the darlings of the NBA. You know what I mean in terms of how they get protected. But
I mean, yeah, like when it comes to what we've seen the league do with San Antonio, they definitely want the Spurs in that game. And apparently Joe also wants the Spurs in that game. Yeah. But and so delay a game wouldn't happen in the NBA for flopping, because you put yourself at a disadvantage going back the other way by laying on the ground, because then it's a 5-on-4. So they're not going to call a delay a game. Like if you flop and somehow like punt the ball into the crowd or something, then you'll get one. But otherwise, they'll let you just be down a guy running down the court if you are laying on the ground.
Well, the delay of game would only really you get warnings, and again, that's a technical.
Yeah. So, well, and again, because you would be short a guy.
Well, you're not short a guy in basketball. You're not going to put a guy in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
No. You're short a guy on that possession as you're laying on the ground and the ball's going the other way, because that's why you flop, is to try and either retain possession or get 2 free throws, right? So otherwise, the flop doesn't help you out. So
I laugh because he flops and is he flops in a position that he's able to jump up right away anyways. So it's not like he's sprawling on the ground.
I think of the LeBron flops where he's like laying it on the ground and rolls around a little bit. The best one is when he like peeks under his hand to see if he got the call. Like, what are we doing?
What do you mean you didn't give me the call? So.
But no, so you won't get a delay. But I mean, if they start calling those the way that they should, then you would start seeing some techs. So there is that. Which I don't want to see that either. I just want them to stop doing it. That's the thing. Just stop rewarding them, and we'll stop seeing all these flops, and then we don't have to enforce the flopping rule.
Right. But such is life. They're going to continue to flop.
Yeah, today is not that day.
Exactly. So, in other sports that are in playoffs,
yep,
Carolina and Montreal, and they are in the Bell Center, and this is the game that I thought that we were going to have all series. This game specifically is the game that I thought. I'm going to put it, it's going to make sense just in this line alone. Carolina had 38 shots. Montreal had 13 shots. Out of those 13 shots, they scored 2 goals. So the opportunities that they are getting, they are able to go ahead and score upon. But you are seeing the one thing that they don't put on this stat line, and I would love to be able to see, is blocked shots. How many blocked shots are Carolina doing? They don't have it on this feed here.
You got to get that through what ESPN usually has the biggest breakdown on that.
Right. But I'm going to tell you that I know that there were more than 13 shots by Montreal, but the fact that they only had 1 shot in overtime, and this is the second game in a row that went to overtime, and to have literally to be outshot 38-13 and to only have 2 shots on net in the entire third and in overtime, which went 15 minutes just about.
Mm-hmm.
That shows you the type of defense that is happening with Carolina right now. They play the 1-3-1. That's the way that this works. You got 1 defense in the back already, so he's the one that if you're going to do dump and chase, he's the one that's getting closest to the puck. You have 3 at the blue line so that you are going to get contested every time you come in, and then you have the 1 guy who's skating around in the front to try to be the instigator to the puck. And it's tough to beat. It is tough to beat. And if you have the speed that Carolina's got and the size that they have, you're going to win those battles most of the time, and they have been. So 37 hits to 31. They can't score on a power play. But you find out that every time that they go on the power play, Montreal goes on a power play, they've been scoring. So you definitely want to make sure to stay out of the penalty box with them. But they have been, they've been playing well, and I suspect that it's going to be the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Vegas Knights. However, Vegas has got to take care of business tonight.
Yes. Yeah. That series is the surprise to me. I didn't have the Knights rolling through.
Me neither. However,
experience is on their side. Experience is on their side. So I'm not saying that they.
Yeah, but Colorado also has an experienced team. They have been in these positions. I'm not sure when the last time Colorado won a cup, but they've been in
the playoffs. But the Knights they're just routinely in this mix, and so I'm not surprised that they're playing them tight. I'm surprised that they're rolling through. I wasn't expecting that. I thought this one was going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I just didn't think that. And of course, the scores aren't really indicative of what happened on the ice, right? Because there were open.
The empty net goals,
exactly.
Aside, when you see a 2-goal win, it's not a 2-goal win. It's usually a 1-goal win.
Exactly.
That's what's happening there. So I'm not really concerned about the fact that they won 5-3. It's a 4-3 win, and they got the open net to put it away.
Exactly.
That just shows that at the end of every game, that Colorado has been having to be desperate.
Yep.
Because when you see where that other goal has come in at, it's like, okay, how long is there been a minute left? Is there 30 seconds left? Is there 2 minutes left? It's like, I think about it where it's like that 5th goal, happened at the last game was at the 19-minute mark. Then you go to the game before that, it was at the 18:57 mark. So with a minute to go. And then the game before that was, because they've all been 1-point games with empty net goals, 19:15. Yeah. So literally with a minute to go, they are, scoring the empty net, which makes me, which tells me hey, maybe you shouldn't be pulling the goalie until you get a minute left.
Well, it hasn't been successful. Maybe just you're not pulling your goalie.
Well, I don't know about that, because you start to get desperate and now you ain't got no choice. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you better have the puck. You better have control of it and things of that. And what's happening is that they're obviously not, you know what I mean? Yep. Or they have control for a minute and they're passing it around. And then next thing you know, they get, the Vegas gets the puck and then just either shoot it down ice to, maybe hit the net, or, and take the icing.
Well, the thing, I guess I watched so much of this with the Kraken because we had such a hard time scoring that every time they pulled the goalie, it was like, oh, this thing's over, because they're going to give up 1, sometimes 2, because sometimes they'd pull the goalie right back out and then it would go right back down the ice and in, and you're just like, okay, well, now we're down 3, so it doesn't matter anymore. So it was such a low success rate. I get you're doing it out of desperation and everything, but you at least have an opportunity to tie it. If you go down and you give up easy ones, again, the success rate on it is just low.
It's low, but it's not 0 though. And I remember a time where going into the last 2 minutes of the game, Boston wound up pulling the goalie, scored a goal, pulled the goalie, scored a goal, and then on the next possession after that, scored a 3rd goal, wound up taking the lead with 2 minutes left. They scored 3 goals in 52 seconds or something like that, and they wound up taking the lead, winning that game. Which is, so there, it does happen. You know
No,
what I
no, no.
mean?
It can, obviously. We did complete some of those this year. And I mean, you've seen teams that can score do it much easier, but it's still a low percentage, right? Because if you lose possession of the puck, if it's going down the other way,
every time they shoot it down ice, they do have a 20% chance of getting it on net because it's like, I don't know, maybe a 10% chance because that's really the nets is about as big as,
one section of the boards,
nets.
basically.
Yeah, 7 nets, whatever. But it's in the middle. So ultimately, if it misses, you get an icing and it goes right back up ice again. So those are some of the things that I think about when you're doing that. But that's part of the game you have to play.
For sure.
Yeah. And maybe if that 6th player needs to be just on the other side of the blue line, just to make sure if you guys are always having that issue.
Mm-hmm.
But that again goes against what you're trying to do in the first place, which is to score a goal. You want everybody around the net.
Yeah.
But anyways, so tonight could be the end of
a lot of pressure on Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was a team that could do it, they're that team. But I think with the experience the Knights have, the odds of them winning 4 in a row is low.
You got to start with the first one. So you got to get the number 1, and then you got to get the number 2. So it's like, because winning that 4th game is always the hardest part. Winning 2, the Avalanche would save a little bit of face. And then, like I said, game 6 back in Vegas, I think that you have the momentum, and then you could really they'll start to squeeze a little bit. Like I said, Carter Hart, as good of a goalie he is, has not been in this situation. He has not been able to do those, to be in a Stanley Cup or this deep into the playoffs. So we'll see if he's able to kind of continue with what he's been doing. That they have been getting a lot of shots on net.
Yeah.
Columbus, Colorado. But
they're playing so bad they just moved them out of the state. They're just like, nope, can't do it.
They're in Ohio now.
Exactly. If you're going to lose, you're going to Ohio.
But I mean, so it's not a matter of the fact that they are, getting outworked.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They're changing goalies tonight too, so we'll see about that as well.
Oh, okay.
Colorado is going with the other goaltender.
I mean, you got to do something, right?
That's what I think. I mean, eventually you got to start to figure out, what else, what can maybe start it up. Blackwood, is who they're going with. So we'll see if Blackwood can make a difference for them. I'm not sure.
So the line on that is 5.5 goals. What are you pulling, the over or the under?
I actually have it at 6.5.
It's 6.5. Okay.
Yeah, and I would say it's an under game today. This is an under.
At 6.5, I'm definitely taking the under. And you can too. On this QR code right here, up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. I mean, if the line is 6.5, I'm definitely taking the under there.
This is actually an interesting line to me that the Avalanche are a minus 115. Just to give you an idea, they were a minus 155 last game. They have been the favorite in each one of these games. The fact that this is a minus 115 is more like a pick 'em because the Knights are minus 105. I don't know. Like I would consider, doing the alternate line of the Vegas Knights. I would do it at minus 2.5. And the reason why is because I think that this being a game 4, I wouldn't put a lot of money on it, but that they're going to pull the goalie nonstop. So, like, you could get 2 empty net goals here, and you could make a lot of money at the, because I got to imagine that the Vegas Knights -2.5. It's right now. It's up for Colorado at this. It's a -1.5 is a +200.
Okay.
So if you were to do that the other way around, it should be at about a 220.
Sure.
And it's an alternate line, so this is definitely something. This is deep in the the betting thing. So but if you were to do -2.5, I'd be willing to bet that would be like a +550, +600. So you could make a lot of money, like $10 winning you $60 type thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was going to say that's the pizza money bet right there, where you throw 10, $20 and you understand you're probably going to lose, but if it hits.
Right. Well, and the reason why that you back that up with okay, you also do the money line of the Colorado Avalanche, because that's ultimately you're going to fund it one way or the other. Yeah, like I said, I think you could go either way, and if they do wind up getting one empty net goal, they're going to wind up getting 2 empty net goals, and it'll be like a 4-1 game, because that's how that would happen. I still think that would go under.
Yeah,
but usually in playoff games, it's 6.5 goals is the over under.
And going to UW would be fun. That'd be a fun game. So
the Crackman is from Detroit, just so that his name is Crackiola, so they call him Crackman. That's the only reason why, and it's Michigan State. He's a Michigan State fan, so on occasion he wears the green.
I mean, it should be a great game. So I'll keep you posted on that. It'll be if the scheduling even kind of works in my life. So
the President's Cup curse is a real thing. Normally it's the first round. So the fact that they've made it past the first round is part of that. That's the curse part. So they're past that curse. But I think Colorado was the last team to win the President's Cup and win the cup.
Oh, okay.
I think it was them. So, anyways, and then there was baseball.
There was some baseball. And how about the M's closing in on the A's, because we are in the series with the A's right now, and we get a win, and we won in solid fashion last night.
How about that? What was the score?
It was, what was it? It was like 9 to. Let me double check. Yeah, 9-2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had a 6-run third inning that you're like, oh, okay, like the boys came to play today.
They had a launch party, as they're calling it, with 4 home runs.
Absolutely.
In a AAA ballpark.
I mean, there's that. But hey, a win's a win.
So Sacramento Athletics is now, and they are only a game and a half down now.
Exactly.
You have to 3 games to get to 500, but 1.5 down from there, because you win this next game, and all of a sudden you're a half a game out.
Yeah, I mean, that part of it makes me sad a little bit, but
Really
I mean, is this the division that gets won with a losing record?
It could very well be.
It could be,
but everybody else is just about got losing records. It's amazing to me that right now, like, you guys are a half a game out of the wild card race. I know it's way too early to talk about that.
What's
3 games under 500?
Yeah. No. I mean, what's crazy is, to your point, there's 4 teams in the AL. Sorry, 5 teams in the whole AL that is 500 or better.
And you know what makes it funny? One of them's the White Sox.
Like, what are we doing right now? I mean, let's calm down with this. Back to hope. Let's calm down. Because even if you make it in, if you're a sub 500 team, I mean, I'm not really feeling like I'm not feeling a lot of confidence, right?
Exactly. But the Phillies themselves are just right around 500, and it's interesting because there's only 4 teams under 500 in the NL.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been a beatdown of the NL over the AL. That's what's been happening across the board. When you have a disparity like that, where there's only 4 teams on the one side in one conference, American League, and then you have only 4 teams that are under 500 in the National League, I would rather go back to us playing on the National League teams and them playing the American League teams.
Sure.
And, let's see each other, like have one division where you play them one series. I would rather go back to that.
No, I'm
not that you have to play everybody. I don't like having to play everybody.
Yeah, I like it. Playing everybody in the as a rotation year to year kind of thing, like it used to be. I get it. Yeah, I didn't have the Rays as the best team in the AL. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and by a good amount.
Yeah. They're the only one playing well.
I mean, you get some, like the Yankees get on winning streaks, and I think they're playing the Rays right now, so it's even. But I mean, I don't know, but I look at everybody, short of the Cubs that have lost 9 straight.
Yes.
And think about that they've lost 9 straight, which means that they were at one point 29-16.
Mm-hmm.
And then lost 9 straight. Ouch. Quit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's an oucher.
And Gino, we don't get to say this anymore. You're not early in baseball when it comes to if you're bad, right? Like if you're losing a lot right now, you're a third of the way in, right? So I mean, like if you're in the mix, sure, it's still early. But if you're one of these teams that's dropping out the bottom, you're running out of time to make a push to at least be in the conversation. Because when you're looking at like the Red Sox, they're going to have to start doing something, right? You can't continue on with it's early,
Well, the Red Sox are well going.
No, for sure. I'm just saying some of these teams that are towards the bottom here, like the it's still early thing doesn't work for them.
Right. Well, like the Angels.
Yeah.
They're 6 games out of the wild card, only 7 games out of the division, though.
Well, no. So, like, for them, it is still early because this division is hot trash. But when you're looking at, say, the Tigers running out of time, right?
Yeah, 10 games out. 10 games out.
Exactly.
5 games out of the wild card right now. And you invested a lot of money in this team.
Or the Mets. The Mets are another example of this. Like, you can't keep saying that it's early. They're 12 games out. Like they gotta, if they're gonna do something, they better start doing it.
And lost another 4 in a row. They were doing well for a minute, and then now, and that tells me. So the Phillies have been winning despite their defense, and their defense is like the worst in baseball, just about. The Mets are just horrid. They're just horrid. Like what's going on over there? Is it? It's like I don't understand all the money that they have invested in this team, and was it because they lost David Wright? You know, did they lose or their first baseman, whoever it was that, you know, wound up moving on? Was he the glue that kept everything together? Do they not know anything about chemistry? Is it just a matter of like, hey, how can you spend just as much money as the Dodgers? The Dodgers get it so right and you get it so wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the equivalent to that was the Rams and the Saints, right? The Rams spent all the money, gave away all their picks, get a ring. The Saints do it and then do nothing. So, I mean, sometimes you push the chips to the middle, and turns out the flop was not your friend.
Right.
all of a sudden, you're sitting there with those two aces. You're like, all right, I feel good, and then two twos drop out, and they had pocket twos.
So, but hey, listen, that's sometimes that occurs. But hey, you know what? But it being 162 games,
yeah,
that's where I'm like, how is it that you've played 54 games, you have a 300 plus million payroll,
yeah,
you can only work out 22 games? Like, you could, out of the 54 games, you could only win 22.
Well, and especially when you think of the fact that you do play everybody, and there's a lot of teams playing bad baseball.
Yeah. You're just playing worse.
Yeah, good job. Really expensive L's.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, who are the Mets even playing? They're playing the Reds right now, which is funny. Who did they play beforehand? Let me see what their schedules looked like up until this point. Yeah, they got swept by the Marlins and then tied the series with the Nationals. It was a 4-game series. They actually played well against the Yankees.
Well, yeah, but the Yankees
battle in New York,
wildly inconsistent.
And then you have, like, they swept the Tigers. So you go back to May 12th. You won 3. You won 5 of 6. You've won 7 of 8. And then you've decided to lose 6 of your last 7. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, I think of the M's, and, you know, we found ways to not only lose to the Royals, but kind of lost badly to them. And they're not playing good baseball. They played good baseball against us, apparently, but I mean, you know, it's I don't know. There's just a lot of bad baseball being played.
Yeah, the Rockies. Yeah, that was a month ago though, so it's not, you know, that's well beyond. Like, you could call that an early loss for whatever reason. You can't call these last couple an early losses. So
no, I mean, again, you're just too far into the season now to be like, oh, it's early. I mean, unless you're a game or two out, then sure, right? Because little runs one way or the other can make the difference. When you're talking about double digits out of your division, you know, getting close to double digits out of wild card, especially when you look at how badly the league is, especially on the AL side, NL side, you know, a lot of winning records. So, but if you're on the AL side and you're like, oh, we're only 7 games out, it's like, yeah, but nobody's played well. Like, if any of these teams start to play decent baseball, you're going to be out of the conversation.
Right. Well, in the NL, definitely. The AL,
in the NL, you're probably already done. Like, you know, when you have an entire division still over 500.
Yeah, the Pirates are 4.5 games back. The team that I thought would win the division.
Yep.
But they're 2 games over 500.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like and right now that entire division is in the playoffs.
No, exactly. That division is wild right now. Yeah. And that's with the Cubs being terrible.
Right. That's losing 9 straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Losing 9 straight.
They're still over 500. Like, that is insane. Yeah.
So,
No, it's yeah, I mean they basically own the wild card, right? Oh no.
no, it's the
No.
Padres.
Yeah, the Padres would get it. In fact, the Diamondbacks would too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, right now. But
Yeah.
that's going to change. Like this is
Oh, of course. This is way too
eventually
early for that. See, this is where
right,
we can say it's way too early.
right. For the wild card. The wild card's going to be something that's going to, you know, start to be decided after the All-Star break. But right now it's like literally everything that's happening is all like oof. You know, and it's like it's a lot of winning by National League, and that tells me that it could be one of these years where you need 93 or 94 wins to get into the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
On the National League side. And
Sure.
you are going to only need 78 wins.
Exactly. Yep.
So, but that team that's got 78 wins and gets hot the end of September will be the team that represents the West or the AL.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, if you were looking at it today, like you would not feel confident that anybody from the AL would win a ring this year. Maybe the Rays.
You figure that the Rays would maybe give. I mean, it's the Braves. The Braves always have a really good regular season, and then
for sure
in the playoffs, you know, they had that one year that they did win a championship, and you know, good for them. But I think since Herb was the one who said, "Hey, I'm going to be a Braves fan."
Yeah.
They do put it together, and so, like I said, I think that the Phillies are definitely going to be in that wild card mix because pitching has started to get a lot better now. We're not, doing that. Yeah, your Cubs are having a hard time of things. They got to figure out how to break the schneid. When you're losing 9 games in a row, you're going to the ballpark with your head down already. Like I said, the better bet would be not to go take batting practice, to take a full day of just doing that. Like, listen, I want to clear my head as best as possible. Maybe
you get into batting practice and you just practice leaning in and getting the hit. You're like, you know what? My bat isn't getting there, but I need to get on base.
Whatever can make it happen. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, and listen, the Dodgers, like I said, the Dodgers are winning games now. Obviously, it's like it's the Brewers are actually. I want to say that they're real close to the Dodgers. They got 31-20. How do you play 3 games less than another team? I'm not sure how that works, but the Dodgers have played three games more.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but like Seattle always ends up in that situation too, where they end up playing.
Is it rain days? Is that the problem? Like where just you get rained out and such?
No, well, I mean, that could definitely have you playing less. Obviously, we don't have that issue here in Seattle because we have a retractable roof, but no, for Seattle, a lot of times we end up playing more than everybody else. Like we tend to be ahead of the rest of our division at times. I don't know why, but we're not right now. But I mean, in years
you're 1 game ahead, kind of.
Yeah.
But
in years past, it's happened a lot.
So that's something I'm just noticing. Like, hey, that one team has got 3 games less than everybody else. The Rockies are also kind of actually they're not. They got 55 games, but they have so many games that they have to make up. I thought the Rockies themselves.
Yeah, I think the only other team that's like that is the Red Sox. They're 52.
Yeah, that's what makes me wonder that it must have been a series or something that got rained out, that they're going to wind up having like a 5-game series with a division foe, that somewhere down that line I'm talking to Gino here a little bit. Gino's got
Yeah.
has the retractable roof, but they like the Cardinals, I guess maybe Busch Stadium or even one in Chicago or whatever that got rained out, and they're going to have like 4 and 5 game series towards the end in September to just kind of catch up a little bit. Because when you're so far down, when you got 3 games difference, you catch up 1 game because they always have the extra space after the All-Star game.
Oh, in fact, the Rays 51.
Well, that's what I'm getting at too. The Brewers also have 51 games.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is at like 54 and 55.
Yeah.
So there's something that's happening in that regards that's going to get made up. Said you just get some rain, bad rain in certain spots, and then you're stuck.
Yeah, it was probably one of those times where there was a lot of tornado warnings and stuff.
That could be.
Whether you got a roof or not, they don't mess around with that one so much.
Exactly. Anyways, was there basketball last night? WNBA?
There was not for the Storm, but around the league, right? I didn't watch any of it yesterday, but
everybody needs a day off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I obviously caught some NBA action, so it's one of those. There's only so many TVs that I can watch at one time.
Interestingly enough, there's no scheduled games today. The Liberty did lose again to the Fire. Is that the Chicago? No, Portland Fire. I was going to say, is that the Chicago Fire? I thought Chicago stunk, but
no, the Sky is Chicago. It's funny because they started out pretty decent, but let's see where
right now.
Yeah, they're still 3-3. So the Sky are off to a better start than they've been the last few years. Oh, and then the Fire, as a brand new franchise, playing pretty decent. They're a really quick team, so they get up and down the floor, harass you a lot. Play very similar to the Storm actually in that way. And yeah, the Liberty lost again. Exactly.
That's a big deal.
That is. That's why there was some rumors that they might be kicking the tires on what a trade might look like to go get Caitlin Clark. That would be a very interesting trade. I'd be really curious what you'd have to give up to do that. Now, the Dream didn't have to give up a ton to go get Reese. So, it might be one of those years, kind of like we've seen in the NFL, where big names are moving around for almost nothing for some reason. You're just like, oh, this is a weird year. But so, I mean, maybe they'd be able to get her for something because she's not playing particularly well. Her point totals have looked decent, but she's not hitting from 3 very well, which is, one of her claims to fame, right?
Right. Let's see.
Now,
I mean, she's still hitting 23.8 points per game.
Yeah, but her 3-point is rough. She's not hitting those very well at all. Reese going to the Dream has been great though. Her game is elevating in that situation because they're not trying to use her as a scoring element, right? They're utilizing her for her defense and her rebounding ability, and then letting her score as opportunities arise instead of trying to be the main scorer that she was, that they were trying to make her be with the Sky. So as it sits right now, the Dream leading the Eastern Conference.
And she's averaging a double-double, even though it's 12.8 points per game. Yep. And 11.4 rebounds. I got to imagine that's probably the best in the league.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's Kiki Irfin who's doing 11 rebounds a game. So obviously, it's there's the haves and the have-nots. Angel Reese has got 11.4 rebounds a game. Irfin has got 11 rebounds a game. Caitlin Clark is still amongst the league leaders in game, and it's Kelsey Plum that's actually got the 26.8 points per game right now.
Yeah.
Followed by Asia.
Yep. Yeah,
and
Clark
Caitlin's
is still
still
hitting Clark is still hitting from the field. She's just not hitting from 3 at the moment.
Right. And I mean, when I think about it's everybody else, says there's some people hitting for like 60% for the field. That's not going to last real long either. She's hitting at 35%, which is not too bad. And she's still got 9 assists per game. So she's still responsible for 42 points a game. You got to make that up if you trade her. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But obviously they are a little bit. See, that's also very interesting. The leaders in turnovers per game. Caitlin Clark at 5.2.
Yes.
Number 2, Angel Reese at 4.8.
Yeah, they both turn the ball over at a high clip. Yeah.
That's big. So
absolutely.
Right. Well, that's how that works.
And it's funny because if you look at the Storm, because they get so deep into their bench, they don't really lead in anything when you're coming to individual players, because just about everybody on the roster is getting 17 to 20 minutes. They're using their depth so well that you're not going to have any Storm members leading anything really, because it's getting spread across the team as a whole.
Right.
Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if it works, but and you're still without some key pieces. So I mean, there is that element also. But I mean, if you look at the starting lineups from game 1 to today, it's been different every game, right? So they're still just trying to figure out who is your starting 5.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, it's still early in this season. I mean, I know some of these teams have played 8 games and there's only 40 games, but that's still early. You know what I mean? Most of these teams have only played 5-6 games. So they've got a lot to figure out. And like I said, they got a late start. So, I fully expect by the end of this season, New York will be back up on top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Aces are exactly where you thought they would be. How about the Valkyries being tied with the Aces there? It's, I mean, highly successful expansion team last year, right? The expansion team comes in, they get to the playoffs. They look like they are poised to do a repeat performance there. But yeah, I mean, once you get to that 10 game mark, you kind of need to have some stuff figured out. I don't know that the Storm are going to have that, because we're still not going to have, some of our main people. Dom in theory should be back, hopefully, from concussion protocol. But Ezzy, you're not getting any kind of definitive timeline on her foot injury. So, who knows?
Well, that means there must be something more going on.
Yeah. I mean, you would think so, right? But I mean, once you're at game 10, I mean, you're almost a quarter of the way through the series. I think there's like 44 games now. So you kind of have to have some stuff figured out once you get to that, 10 to 12 game mark.
Well, almost
that
there.
Being said,
we'll see.
Does get us to the top of the show. If you are listening on the radio 97.3, we got some smooth jazz headed your way. And of course, if you are listening on every other platform, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy the games tonight. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Peace.